Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we've got this John Deere E130 in. It's got a strange running problem. When you don't have the brake on, when you get your weight off the seat, it should kill the engine. It's not. And when you shut the key off, there's a 1.5 seconds delay before the engine actually shuts off. So I'll show you what I mean here. We'll get her fired up and show you. Listen now. I'll watch the key. There's a delay before it shuts down. So, I know what it is. And I know what part we have to change. It's this one. It's a harness. Got a couple of diodes in it on the kill wire for your coils. So I've already got the top off this thing. Saves us some time. We'll get you over here a little bit and I'll show you which harness it is. And then what we'll do is we'll put it on the bench and test it with a meter and I'll show you what's going on with it. So we'll get some tools gathered, get you out of the stand and over here and carry on. Okay, so the harness we're after here is on this plug. We're going to be replacing this side of it. There's a ground wire and a red wire. The red wire goes over here. The gray wire comes up, loops through and around, and it goes down into the solenoid on the carburetor, the fuel shutoff solenoid. The black wire comes up through. There's a couple of diodes in here. That's a ground. And one goes to this coil, and one snakes across and goes to that coil right there. That's your kill wire. So when your safety tells it to, when your safety switch tells the harness to shut the engine off, it grounds those coils and kills the spark. Also, when you shut your key off, it grounds the coils and kills the spark. So what's happening here is when either of those situations happen, one coil is not getting grounded. So it's continuing to run on one coil on one cylinder until it shuts off with the key. But if you just take your weight off the safety switch on the seat, it just continues to run, but on one cylinder. So we're going to pull that harness out of there. I'll probably get you guys set up on this side of the shop. The lighting in the mornings is very weird on the other side. So I'll get you in the stand over this side and we'll tear in. Alright, so I went ahead and took the little 5/16 screw out of here. That is the ground side of the fuel shutoff solenoid. It's a little tedious. I got it out. So what my plan is to disconnect all the ends here. It's got to come out this way because I can't pull that big connector through behind the starter. So my plan is to disconnect everything. I'm going to use some electrical tape and tape up the ends. I'm going to tie a string on the end of the longest wire and then pull everything through with the string, then tie the new harness on and pull it back through its routing path. That's the plan anyway. So I'm going to just disconnect the far side coil, disconnect the fuel shutoff solenoid. The wire for the ground is already hanging like I just said, and disconnect this coil and the red wire here. There we go. So I'm going to pull that one through, pull this through. Let's get this wire pulled through. Let's get our fuel shutoff solenoid wires pulled through. Not a lot of room to work in there. Going to try and get that ground wire in the little tiny 1/2 inch or 5/8 hole to get all that through. Just a little messing around to get it. Oh, there's the ground wire. There we go. I'll pull that through with its connector. And that's it. That's the whole harness. Coil wire out of the way. That's our harness. One more little spring clip here near the starter. I know you can't see it, but I can. There we go. That harness is now free to slide back and forth. But you know what? I don't need to tape all the old ones up. I can just tape the new ones up. So I'm just going to tie a string on the end here. Hopefully it doesn't break. We'll try this one. It might work. I don't know. Just a fish wire to pull it back through. A couple of crazy little knots in there. Yeah. Whatever. Disconnect it from this end and start wiggling. There we go. Coil wire keeps getting in the way. Tuck you over there for now. Hopefully this all fits through here. I might have to pull the starter. Maybe. Something's stuck. Well, the gray wire's going through. Our kill wire, the black wire, is getting stuck there. You know what? I'm going to have to pull the starter off of this, I think. We'll try it. We'll try and see what happens. Let's get that kill wire out of there. It's just this one left. It's got this connector on it. That might tie us up. Oh, red wire's still in there. It's still stuck down by the cylinder head. Got a pair of the long needle nose and reach down in there just to get it back on the right path. Not a lot of room in there. Yeah, it's stuck on something now. It's got a connector on the end of it too where it plugs into here, so yeah, I'm going to pull the starter off. Should just be a couple of bolts. Drop that out. Yeah, we'll do that. Disconnect the battery just so I don't arc and spark stuff. Well, that's not the right size. Nope. 10mm. Just because I don't want to spark things. There's a there's the starter relay down there, so you never know. You start maneuvering things around, you could run into live wires. Just for safety, we'll just disconnect it. Should be able to reach in there with a long Torx ish. I'm going to try an Allen in there first because I don't know if I have a long Torx bit. I might. I don't think so. depending how tight they are. Yep, they're tight. Certainly don't make it easy to get to. That one bolt is offset behind the starter clutch. It's a bolt with hacks on it. You can't get a socket on it. Definitely need a long Torx. All right, let me see what I got in the toolbox there. I'll figure out the tools that I need, and I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, I got the starter dropped off of there. I was able to get in there with a 1/2-inch quarter drive socket and a long extension. I got both the bolts out. Starter just dropped to the bottom, so that's all right. Gives us lots of room. Don't even need a silly string now. All that stuff can just come right out of there. Behind the dipstick tube. Oh yeah. There it is. Little tiny spot behind the dipstick tube to fit. It's out. So there's our harness. We're going to bring that to the bench. Again, I'm going to show you how I diagnosed it using a meter. Where's our new part? In a box. There's our new one. There's our pair of diodes there. Let's see if we can get a close up on it. A couple of diodes in there, one for each coil, so they don't feed back on each other. Let's get her tucked back in the way she came out. Up through there. Come on, where are you, red wire? You gotta go in there too. A lot of sharp sheet metal in here, so if you're going to be dragging wires through here, just be careful you don't strip any of the insulation off the wires. There we go, that's fed back through. Red wire goes down here. Might as well connect it. All 3 wires clip in a little spring clip here. Come on, get in your... There you go. No, you're not. Why are you fighting me? You need 3 hands, that's the problem. Get everything wrangled in there. Get in there. There we are. 2. 1 more. 3. There. That was easy. Make sure we have enough slack to go around behind the starter. And we do. Lots of slack. Pull a little bit back. All right, so let's hook up this side coil. Right onto the kill terminal. And we get our fuel solenoid wire stuck back through the hole, again with the spark plug wire. That's on. Okay, now we can get this through. So the gray and the black wire both go through that hole, and you got to pull the black wire all the way through because the ground's on the opposite side. Might as well get you plugged in while we're in here. Okay. You were tucked under the coil. Yeah, there you go, back where you were. This one goes behind a breather hose. Or two. There's another little tiny vacuum line back there too. And then that one plugs onto the other coil. Under the governor linkage. So it doesn't interfere with it. There we go. She's all plugged on this end. Get this harness plugged into the chassis harness. Okay, so that's in, that's in. I gotta get the starter back in there. Making sure the harness isn't going to get pinched by the starter, so I've got it dipped down low so it's away from the mounting bracket. All right, let's see if this wants to behave. It didn't want to behave coming out. Might need to fight with it a little. Again, need 3 hands. There we go, got one started. This tin underneath the flywheel is very, very close to those bolt heads. It doesn't like to go in there. This one is near impossible. Again with the spark plug wire, jeez. It's always in the way. These wires popped out of their clip when I was maneuvering things. We'll just get them right out of there for now. I can always get them in the clip after. Now the fight is trying to get this bolt in behind everything. See if I can get it wiggled in there and at least started with this Allen key, just because I don't have a long Torx. Are you in the hole? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Got her started with an Allen key. I won't be able to torque it with that because it'll slip, but it's going in. There we go. Bottomed out. And this one is bottomed out. So now I'm going to grab a hold of both ends of the harness and slide it back and forth, make sure it's not pinched behind the starter, and everything's fine. So everything moves free there. That's good. See if we can get that socket back in there. Get that bolt tight on the starter. Yep. Now watch me lose my socket forever. Magnet tool. Grab the socket. Hopefully it'll come out this way. Gotcha. Other starter bolt. Nice and tight. Now we should be able to fire this up and demonstrate what's going on after I take this off of here. So it should work fine now. I'll get these wires put back in their clip now that it's actually easier. I'll get these 3 wires put back in their little spring clip, and then I'm going to fire up the tractor, and then we'll demonstrate how it runs now. Okay, I've got everything put back together, got the engine together, I got the battery hooked back up. I did put the little ground on the fuel shutoff solenoid. Now let's see what happens. So I'm sitting on the seat, brake is in. So before, if I with the brake out, if I got off the seat, it would continue to run on one cylinder. So let's see what happens now. Look at that. Let's try with the key switch, see if it still has that delay when I shut it off. Instant. That's the way it's supposed to be. Huh. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the other side. I'm going to put that harness on the bench, and I'm going to use a multimeter and show you how to actually check them with a meter. All right, hopefully you guys can see the meter. Looks like it in the viewfinder here. So here's how you check for the a diode problem. So I've got my meter set on the diode or continuity scale. All depends on your meter. Some have it, some don't, but this one happens too. It's not an expensive meter. This is a cheapie. So I've got the negative into the corresponding kill wire plug. And these two terminals here are for the coils, the kill wires on the coils. So watch that. It says 1 right now, which is basically infinite resistance, which means it's open. So this isn't touching anything. Touch on this one, infinite resistance. Touch on this one, infinite resistance. So that tells me there's no continuity between my terminals, which means the diodes are not letting the electricity through that path. So the way a diode works is like a check valve. It only works one way. Electricity will only flow one way, and it prevents a backflow and a backfeed. So now that tests out fine. So they should be infinite one way. They're supposed to be. But there's supposed to be continuity the other way. So let's switch these around because electricity flows from plus to minus on the DC side anyways. Now we use the other probe. Let's test this one here. You see the numbers on the meter. So it's flowing electricity. If you go to this one, it's open. It's absolutely open. No continuity. So this coil on the short stem never got grounded when you shut the key off or when the safety switch was engaged. So it wasn't grounding the coil. It was feeding back, and it was not grounding the coil, so it kept running. So it continued to run on the one coil until it just died. Anyways, that's how you check a diode. This one diode, she's bad. So comes as a harness, you replace it all. Diodes fail for a number of reasons. Corrosion, or just amperage, or vibration, or heat. So they fail for a number of different reasons. I don't know why this one failed. I know it did fail, and that was causing our issue with the tractor. So that's another one buttoned up and fixed. Oh, that sun is bright. There we go. Thanks for joining me in this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell icon. It'll notify you when I upload new videos. And until the next one, take care.